Hi there, folks. I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Yes, as you can tell by the scenery in this room, I've moved my filming location again. Why? Well, I have to admit that this episode is going to be my first time blogging a disaster film. Yes, it's true. Next to horror films, disaster films are one example of the film genre that interests me. Films about destruction from Mother Nature, whether it being weather, volcanoes, tidal waves, or from space like meteors. Now, the last disaster film I actually watched was a really, shall we say, crappy one called 2012. Now, why did I hate that film? Well, because we got through that year without even dying and without all those things even happening. Now, which disaster film am I going to take a look at today? Well, let me describe my home state, which is actually California. Yes, ever since I was born, I loved living in this golden state. But at the same time, I've also been hearing that sometimes California is pretty common to have earthquakes. And there's a rumor that someday a huge earthquake might cut off California from the rest of the country. Anyway, the film I'll be vlogging today is an earthquake film that takes place in California. So, let's get this blog over with and let's find out if I enjoy it or not. Released on May 29th, 2015, the movie is San Andreas. So, let's begin. A seemingly ideal day turns disastrous when California's notorious San Andreas Fault triggers a devastating magnitude 9 earthquake, the largest in recorded history. As the earth cracks open and buildings start to crumble, Ray Gaines, an LAFD search and rescue helicopter pilot, must navigate the destruction from Los Angeles to San Francisco to bring his estranged wife and their only daughter to safety. So, what did I think of this film? Well, it was intense, frightening, disturbing, emotional, and pretty hardcore. Did I enjoy it? Well, yeah. But in order to explain why, let's go over my Mustang notes and we'll find out. On December 1st, 2011, it was announced that New Line Cinema was developing an earthquake disaster film, San Andreas 3D, from a script by Jeremy Pathmore and Andre Fabrizio. Alan Loeb polished the script. On June 5th, 2012, the studio set Brad Payton to direct the movie. On July 18th, 2012, New Line tapped Carlton Cuse to rewrite the script for an earthquake disaster film. On July 18th, 2013, The Conjuring writers Carrie Hayes and Chad Hayes were tapped by the studio to rewrite the film again. The film was also produced by New Line Cinema and Village Roadshow Pictures, along with Flynn Picture Company and Australian Limited Village Roadshow. On December 17, 2013, Variety reported that the film would be shot at Village Roadshow Studios in Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. The production was set to start in April 2014 in Queensland, with locations including Ipswich and Brisbane. On March 20th, 2014, it was announced that Gods of Egypt had started production in Australia, and San Andreas was set to begin soon afterwards. On April 16, 2014, Johnson tweeted photos from the training for the film. Filming began on April 22, 2014 in Australia, and was also shot in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, and San Francisco. On May 12th, shooting took place in Lockyer Valley. On May 10th and May 11th, shooting was taking place in Los Angeles, and then production went back to Australia to complete the rest of the shooting. On May 17th, second unit was filming scenes in Bakersfield where a helicopter was spotted, while Johnson was busy in Gold Coast. On June 22nd, the film was spotted filming disaster scenes on Elizabeth Street in Brisbane. The film's second unit started shooting on July 8th in San Francisco, while the first unit began shooting on July 21st, wrapping up on July 27th. On July 15th through 16th, first unit was filming in Fisherman's Wharf, while a second unit was also filming in Embarcadero on July 16th. On July 21st, the filming was taking place at AT&T Park, where the film crew shot a scene during a San Francisco Giants game. On July 22nd, they filmed an earthquake with fake victims and fake garbage at Hyde and Lombard Streets in Russian Hill. Then on July 23rd, crews were filming disaster scenes in the Armory. On July 26th, they filmed some scenes near the Fairmont Hotel, and the last day of filming spent shooting on the California streets in Financial District, wrapping up filming on July 27, 2014. Now, in my opinion, while I didn't really blog it, and I don't really plan to, but still, San Andreas was way better than 2012, but its story is pretty similar to Day After Tomorrow, except it doesn't have weather disasters. Now, the earthquakes in each scene sometimes make me want to clutch my hands together against my face in fear. For example, the scene at Hoover Dam, which I'm not sure if I've actually been to yet, and it's been far too long for me to remember anything about that place. Anyway, it was a really suspenseful scene. Also, once again, I was upset seeing my birth city, Los Angeles, get wrecked in a disaster film. I mean, can you believe how many times that actually happened? It had a volcanic eruption in Volcano back in 1997. It was blown apart by twisters in Day After Tomorrow. Even had a huge earthquake in 2012. But on the other hand, I'm glad California didn't sink into the Pacific in this film, though. Now, you guys probably might remember when during my Inside Out blog, I did mention that I've been to San Francisco twice in my life. Well, anyway, having San Francisco in this film pretty much makes sense to me, because I believe it does reference the time when years ago, the hills in that city were caused by earthquakes. While the film does mostly have earthquakes in it, there is one scene nearing the end that has a huge tsunami, which I thought was the most intense scene in the whole film. And now, it's time to move on to the cast of this movie. First, we have Chief Raymond Gaines, a Los Angeles Fire Department helicopter rescue pilot, played by Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, whom I remember from Journey to the Mysterious Island and Race to Witch Mountain. Now, Dwayne's performance in this film is a great one. He's brave, responsible, and he's smart whether there's a huge emergency or disaster that he comes across. Plus, I just like his chopper that he uses in this film. Next we have Ray's estranged wife, Emma Gaines, played by Carla Gugino, whom I remember only from the Spy Kids trilogy. Emma is a great character too, despite the fact that there had been relationship problems between her and Ray over the course of the film sometimes. But I'd rather not talk about it for fear of spoilers. Next we have Ray's teenage daughter, Blake Gaines, played by Alexandra Daddario, whom I only know from the Percy Jackson films. Anyway, I believe Blake is a great character too, and she's tough, brave, but sometimes she can be scared at times when she wants to be. But I'm also glad that she looks up to her dad and is very, well, how do I put this? Obedient when it comes to, like, staying safe. Next we come to Blake's friends from the UK, Ben and Ollie Taylor, played by Hugo Johnson Burt and Art Parkinson. Now these two boys are my favorite characters in the film. Ben is an engineering student seeking employment in an office building owned by Emma's stupid boyfriend Daniel, plus Ben serves as Blake's love interest. Also, his brother Ollie is really clever when using a GPS to get around the remains of San Francisco. Now, the last character I need to mention is Dr. Lawrence Hayes, a seismologist played by Paul Giamatti, who was in Rock of Ages. Now, I find this guy to be a very memorable character. Way more memorable than Morgan Freeman from Lucy. No offense. Now, the reason why I like Dr. Lawrence is, well, because he was investigating the quakes and was clever to warn everybody in California via news broadcast. And now it's time to move on to my final words. Overall, San Andreas is a suspenseful movie. The earthquake and destruction are intense. The story was pretty familiar, but it was very well written. And the characters, including Dwayne Johnson, were great. For this film to be the first time I saw a disaster film in theaters, it was a thrilling experience for me. And I do pray that I never have to experience a 9-pointer earthquake like the ones in this film. However, if any of you are interested in films that involve earthquakes, then by all means you should give this film a watch. I give this film an 80% out of 100. Well, that's it for today's episode, folks. Please be sure to tune in for my next blog. Mustang Power.